Hello everyone. In my first video, we have already discussed about economic activities. And economic activities can be divided into primary, secondary, and tertiary activities. So here we will be covering all these three sectors, which are primary, secondary, and tertiary sector. So here if you'll see, large number of goods and services are being produced by all these three sectors. So many people are working in these sectors and they're helping in the production activity. So here when we will compare all these three active means when we are comparing these three sectors, after seeing the comparison, we'll able to answer which sector is dominating more, means contributing more in the GDP, which sector is doing more production, and which sector is contributing more in the employment, giving employment to the people, while other sectors are relatively small in size. So we will see primary, secondary, or tertiary, which sector is contributing more in the GDP. So let's see how do we count the various goods and services and know the total production in each sector. So of course it is a very mammoth task, or you can say impossible task, to calculate each and every thing and their price. So from the nail, computer, furniture, and many more things, vegetable market, or each and everything which is included in the economic activity where money is involved, that we need to understand and that we need to calculate. So here if you will see, values of goods and services should be used rather than adding up the actual number. So here let's take one example. So if you'll see, 1000 kg of wheat is sold 8 per kg. So what will the value? Its value will be 80,000. The value of 5,000 coconut at rupees 10 per coconut. So the final value will become 50,000. So instead of calculating the pieces or items, we have to calculate the final price. So let's go to the next paragraph and things will be more clear. Let's see this paragraph. Here, one precautions we have to consider. Every goods and services that are produced and sold need to be counted. So remember one thing, we don't have to calculate each and everything which is produced in the economy, but we have to calculate the final goods and services, means final value of that product. Let's take one example and understand. One farmer is there and he is selling to a mill, he is selling wheat to one mill owner at rupees 8 per kg. Okay, 8 per kg. And then mill person is selling to the biscuit company at 10 per kg. Okay, so from the farmer is selling to the mill worker, mill owner you can say, rupees 8 per kg, and from the mill owner is selling to the biscuit company rupees 10 per kg. And then this biscuit company is adding flour, sugar, and some kind of oil, and if the final packet cost is 60, okay, rupees 60, where one packet cost is rupees 15. The cost of one packet is rupees 15. So like that, 15, 15, 15 he has produced. Okay, understand one thing. See, here price was 8 rupees, here it is 10, and here it is 60. So what is the final price of this product? The final price which we have to consider will be 60. And if you add rupees 60 plus 70 and then plus 8, 78, this will be a wrong calculation. This will be entirely a wrong calculation. That's why whatever the final product and its value, that we need to calculate the final value of this product. The same thing is given in this paragraph. We just read and you will understand. So here it is given. And in India, if you will see, this task is being done by central government ministry. So the Ministry of Central Government is calculating this entire GDP and all, and it is taking help of government departments like state government is also helping with the help of union territories. So here different state agencies are there, and even in the union territory basically it is under the central government itself. You already know this thing. So next is historical changes in sectors. So historical changes, maybe 1850. If you read about the 1850, maybe primary sector was dominating the entire economy. 1950 it can be a secondary sector, and then 2050 tertiary sector. Things will change with the time. So let's see here. So primary sector was the most important sector of economy. Why? Economic activities, because as the method of farming changed, the agriculture sector began to prosper. It produces more, much more food. So earlier you will see the initial phase where primary sector was dominating. So here we have to understand one more thing, that the primary sector is a base for other sectors, secondary as well as tertiary sector. If primary sector is not strong, then other sector cannot work properly, because the food, whatever we are getting, the food is we are getting from primary sector. So here, increasing in the number of the crop production and the traders buying and the selling activities, with the time what happened, these activities like crop production, traders, merchants, once agriculture start producing the surplus, agriculture is producing the surplus, so there's a need for other activities. So that's why, so here you can see buying and selling activities increased many times. Now, so slowly and gradually administration, then army, etc. came into existence. Most people were also employed in these sectors. So primary sector, initially more people were employed in the primary sector. Gradually you will see the shift from primary to secondary sector. With the time, new methods of the manufacturing were introduced. Factories came up. So these factories, industries, they started coming up with the time. People start moving from primary sector to the secondary sector gradually. So earlier worked on farms, the people those who are working on the farms, now they started working in factories, and they were getting a good income. So here you can see that secondary sector gradually become the most important in the production, means the production has been expanded and it has started giving more employment to the people. So after that, this was the second phase. And now if you see the third phase, you will find that last or past 100 years, there has been a shift from secondary to the tertiary sector in developed countries. India is a developing country. So generally from primary shift to the secondary, and from secondary to the tertiary sector. So here in this paragraph you will see that tertiary sector has expanded and it started producing more goods and services, and its contribution in the economy is also expanded over the time. So if you will see the developed countries in the last 100 years, it has contributed more. The tertiary sector is also called as service sector, and this sector is the most important in terms of total production in last few years. Why? Because see, now we are getting the new services, new jobs like doctor, engineer, seller, transport, banking, commerce. Now all these new jobs have been created in the economy, and all these jobs are related to the service sector. In the next video, we'll compare primary, secondary and tertiary sectors of India with 1970-71 and 2010-11. We will see how these changes happen in the production, the employment, and in the GDP, contribution in the GDP. So that's it for this video, and this topic we will do in the next video. Thank you so much.